So personally, I feel I have been prepared for this for the past 20 years. It's like the COVID war is something that needs to happen. It's happening. It's going to change the way that we live on Earth for, I don't know, for a long time. And it's a junction. There's before and after this transition. I don't want to speak too much about this, but let's say I feel I have been prepared for this. For the past 20 years, I've been being prepared. I'm not sure how to formulate this properly, but so as this has arrived, I'm like, I'm ready. I don't feel that it's a thing to navigate. You got to be good. You got to be good with navigation. But I don't feel overwhelmed. I feel capable. I feel calm. I feel steady. I understand the game. I can see the passage. I can adapt. I'm very swift. I'm surrounded by a team of people that is war tested. We've gone through a lot of things. It's not flimsy. Like we've gone through struggles, big ones, stuff that most people would never get through. So the team is solid, which is the most important part. The communication is getting better. And so I feel good. It's a question of flow, in my humble opinion. If you don't know how to flow, then you don't know how to flow. It's not time to learn how to flow. You're going to sink. But I've been learning to flow for some time now. So this is just the next wave. But if you're good on this kind of wave, you'll be good on this kind of wave. It's the same principles. So, yeah, what's happening is unprecedented. It has never happened before. And it's either you're ready or you're not. If you're not going to be ready. Because you have too much to learn in so short amount of time. It's impossible. Like, this is going to sound negative, but anyways, people live in fantasies. I'm being honest. And you better know to who and what group or tribe or clan you belong. You better have a place of importance so that the clan needs you and wants to invest on you. Otherwise, well, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. Life works in mysterious ways. I don't want to curse or create a dooms on anybody or anything, but listen, if you have any sense of what's going on and the magnitude and how deep and long this process has been going on, like this is not watching a David Icke video. Shout out to David Icke, but that's not going to change anything for you. Some people who have money, a lot of money, are, let's say, in a more comfortable position, but money is not enough either. You need knowledge. You need to know what the fuck is going on in order to really be able to navigate this. And not only this, there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity like there's never been before. It's because we haven't spoken about this yet, so I'm just like summarizing. But it's an opportunity like there's never been before. And not everyone is going to get to the other side or take advantage of this opportunity. The system, as I say, is, for me, it's a zoo. And the zoo is being upgraded. But the level of upgrade is unprecedented. It's like as unprecedented as life without internet and life with internet. It's who in the 1970s could imagine where the world is today? So it's that scale of transformation, but even bigger, but it's like so drastic, it's like you cannot imagine. So as the zoo is upgrading itself, but not a little bit. It wants to upgrade itself totally because it has the capacity. It wants to restructure everything as per its standards to be completely optimized. There's no waste, there's no pollution, there's no nonsense, there's no useless eaters, as they say. And I'm not going to put my opinion out there right now. I'm just saying from the zoo's perspective, and here we are the human resources. Most people have no idea what's going on. A few people have think they know what's going on because they're on the internet and investing time and energy consuming content that quote unquote enlightens them. You're not really enlightened because you watch a movie or Star Wars or watch a guy tell you what's going on. This is borrowed knowledge. It may resonate with you to a certain degree, but do you really know? To know something, you have to realize it for yourself, self-realization. So unless you've self-realized it, and self-realizing it is not enough, then you need to be the person who's able to transition from here to there. It's something. That's what I'm trying to tell you to answer your question. I feel, and I had no idea of this 22 years ago when I began my journey. I had no idea. I was like a moron, a masturbator. Yeah, an idiot, No idea. And so I found myself a teacher, or the teacher found me, and this man trained me, educated me, cleansed me, cleaned me, reformatted me, made me into the man that I am today. And that's why I'm in the position I'm in. And let's say that began at the age of 21, so I had wasted 21 years of my life, so I had a lot to catch up on, a lot of knowledge to learn. You have to know how the world works. Today, if you want to go, let's say you go to university, you get a specialization. You specialize in, I don't know, let's say electrical engineer, or you specialize in quantum, I don't know what, or you specialize in... You cannot understand anything through specialization. You cannot understand the body by understanding how the throat works. If you just know the eyes, you don't know the body. The body is a whole. So in order to understand what's going on in the world, you have to have an understanding in so many things. So I spent easily the past 21 years of my life studying, researching, integrating, digesting, applying. That was my main focus. And I had to learn everything. I didn't know fuck all. Everything I learned in school was useless. Listen, I went to university. I spent 3 years in engineering. What the fuck does that do? Okay, it taught me how to think and understand. I learned from everything, let's be honest. But per se, who cares? I studied in chemistry. I know organic chemistry. Who fucking cares? What does that have anything to do with what's going on in the world? But that's part of my baggage. So if I listen to a doctor, I understand the doctor better than, let's say, at least 90% of the people. I understand the language. So I've spent so much time learning so many things, from history to revised history to economy, finances, so many things, like non-stop history, ancient history. Then I visited those places myself. I've been to Jerusalem. I've walked on the so-called Holy Land. I've been to Egypt. I've been to South Africa and supposed Anunnaki landing. I've been to Europe. I've felt those energies. Unless you walk into a castle of some kind of person who's an oligarch, the supreme richest people ever. Unless you walk in, seeing a picture doesn't do it. You walk into it. You can't grasp it. Like, what the fuck? This is another mind that has created this. We're like little peasants in our little homes, even if your house has 3 floors. I'm like, no, this is like, who does this? Unless you experience and feel things through your nervous system and your body, it's not enough just to read, you need to feel it. I've gone through this. I've traveled extensively throughout my life to go to places, feel places, meet teachers, meet knowledgeable people, all kinds of knowledgeable people, meet people in the street, meet bums, meet murderers, meet all kinds of people. The point is to say, it's like, well, that's for me studying, that's learning. So that somehow, some way, if you're fortunate enough and you're looking for what's going on, the golden thread that ties all that data together, you have information, experiences, knowledge that allows you to see clear through all of this. It's not just enough to read a book by a dude or that dudess. No, that's nothing. I don't give a fuck who says what. I read because I love to read. I learn a lot. I gain more information. I confirm ideas. I also develop my language. I'm a guy that speaks, as you can notice. But it means nothing. I have to know for myself. That's always been my central premise. It hasn't changed, will never change. Self-realization, you got to know it for yourself. So how do I feel about what's going on? There's no space for how I feel. This is the reality. It's time for action. That's it. How I feel, I process it during my meditations and whatnot. It's like there's no more time for how do you feel about what's going on. There's bombs exploding. There's psychological warfare 24 hours a day non-stop. How I feel is a detail. It's not I don't feel. It's not I don't feel sadness. It's not I don't feel a squeeze in my heart and sadness for people. It's just like, well, whatever I could have done before I did, so I feel clean. Everything I could have done prior to this new phase, I've done. Easily for 15 years, I taught people. And I taught them what? I'm like, if you understand how the human body functions, I'm not talking about reading a biology book. I'm talking the actual study of the human body, which is the temple of the living God, the temple of life. If you understand health and disease, this is written in my book. You could read it for yourself, which I wrote, was published in 2015 and took me 5 years to write, which means this is stuff I've been thinking about easily since 2010 and even before when I was a little younger. Health, this is the irony. I wrote this in 2010, published in 2015. Health is how the system manipulates you. You're unhealthy. You don't even know what health is, and they're going to fuck you over like this because you don't know left from right. How ironic that I wrote about this. So for easily 15 years, and even as a kid, I used to be, we are who we are. You don't become something else. You become more of what you are, or you stagnate. So I've always been this way since I'm a kid, 5 years old. I used to see my mom smoking cigarettes, and I'd make a scene, and I'd threaten her. I'd say, listen, every time I see you smoke, you're gonna give me $5. Didn't really work. But it created this regime inside the house that when she had to smoke, she had to hide because she was scared of how I would respond. But the point is, I've always been like this and always been keen on health, because health is the only thing, it wouldn't be fair to say, it is the most important thing that you can have. And health is not just I don't have back pain or I don't have cancer. No, health is health. There's no separation between your mind and your body. It's one thing. And health is what makes you make good decisions. Health is what attracts good things to you. Health is what makes you connect to the right people. Health is what connects you and tunes you to the flow. Remember, the human body is an instrument. This is what your average person doesn't understand, because they follow modern medicine's perspective, which is the study of a dead body. Never forget this. In a materialistic paradigm. Like the height of fucking stupidity, with all due respect. Like, can you be more stupid than this? We're talking about a living machine that is created by something you cannot even name, and you're studying it when it's dead, and you're not even looking at it. You're looking at it through a microscope, and then your imagination through an electronic microscope. Lost in digits and concepts and models, and you're in no way interacting with the human body per se. And you mean to say you know something about health? Come on. And I've studied the medical system. I studied university also. Listen, I've spent so much time, so I'm not speaking about the medical system out of my ass. I worked in the medical system. I work at the hospital. I clean people's fucking ass and their shit and wipe their vomit. I've done a lot of things over the years. And my goal was to learn. That was always my goal. I want to learn. I want to understand what's happening in the world. It's my priority. And because I want to understand what's happening to me. I want to understand what's happening to the people I love. Why are my friends the way they are? What's happening to them? Why are my parents, why do they think this way? What happened to them prior for them to immigrate to the country of Canada? Why are they so scared? They lived certain conditions in Egypt and wherever they came, because they're from Egypt, but their parents came from somewhere else. Like, what happened? There's history, right? Then you meet people from all over the world. I've met people from all over the world. When you meet a German, it's a particular experience. Love Germans, but Germans think and function in a particular kind of way, and they have a history Let's not talk about that history, but so they're affected. So I've been to Germany also numerous times. It's like you need to have a sense of what's happening in the world to put the pieces together. You can't get this through Discovery TV or the promoted documentaries they want to sell you and spoon feed you, or Hollywood movies. Hollywood movies gives you the impression that they're teaching you about history sometimes. Like, this is a war movie. I'm like, nah, this is their spin on the war movie. But you don't know. They reinforce the narrative that our society wants to sell at you, and you don't know. Let's say you're like 8 years old. Since you're a kid, 2, 4, 5, 10, 12, 15, you're just receiving, and in all the movies is the same narrative. Just, this is an action movie, this is a horror movie, but it's the same narrative. You watch a movie about zombies, it's always about nature flipping on human beings, trying to kill your ass. This is not reality. This is their paradigm that they're selling to you. So since you're a kid, you're just absorbing this and you have no idea. So when you wake up and you realize at some point you're ignorant, and some people are fortunate, they're very rare, they receive an education. To actually receive a full education, even rarer, but sometimes maybe you're financially literate. Good for you. But for many of us, the majority of us, you're raised by TV, the internet, all this nonsense. And you're technically an ignorant person. I've gone to private schools, quote unquote, the best schools, best colleges. I didn't learn fuck all about life and how life really works. You get brainwashed. Maybe they brainwash you better. That's possible. I hated it. I hated every fucking second of it. I hated it. But my father has a master's degree, and this is very important for him, so I didn't know what else to do, so that's what I did for some time. I hated every second of it. You don't learn anything real. There's not one fucking sound that I received, maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe 2 or 3 sounds, that's genuine. That means that nourishes you, that like gives you insights that have meaning for you and your own existence. So when you wake up at some point and you're miserable and you're suffering and you're confused and you have a headache and you don't understand what's happening, and your health is, you don't get sick at the age of 60. You already have health issues at the age of 4. You have health issues that may not express themselves in the womb of your mom. At 5, 6, 7 years old, you have all these little problems. They kind of disappear at some point because the nervous system is smart. And they reappear in your teenage years when your hormones kick in, and they just follow you. So you have all kinds of ailments. You don't know what's going on. You go see a doctor and he doesn't know what the fuck's happening because he's an idiot. With all due respect to the doctor, all he knows is how to give you drugs, and he's giving you already 5, 6 pills and nothing works. He has no idea. So when you start to realize that the world around you doesn't know what's going on, and you expected them to know, then you don't have a choice but to say, like, I'm in pain now, I'm suffering. I'm suffering from every direction, psychologically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, existentially, materially, financially. I need to find solutions. And you're a profound person, meaning you understand that life has textures because you can feel it. You're just not like a robot that just, I'm going to make money. You're going to sell lunch boxes and make $1 million, right? Or insurance, whatever. No disrespect to that, but it's not something I'm able to do. I can't suppress myself to that extent. So when you realize something's wrong, you understand what's missing. You have no knowledge. Knowledge is not stuff you read in a book. That's information. Information can be useful, but information is information. Knowledge is that you realize what's happening through your own experiences. And there's so much that you don't know. Technically, I was 21, so I received no education. So I'm 21 years late. And everyone around me doesn't know fuck all. But my friend's an engineer. 4 of my friends are engineers. So yeah, they know how to play with numbers and can explain to me a vector and how it balances out. Like, that's great, but who fucking cares? Unless you want to build a building, who fucking cares? And I'm not interested in building a building. I'm interested to build the edifice of my life. And knowing about that's not going to change shit for me right now, although I've studied in engineering, so I know this. Yeah, it serves in your general understanding of the human body, but you see what I'm trying to say? It's like, that's useless. And the people around me don't know. And I was surrounded by educated people who did good for themselves, as I mentioned in another video. They, like, okay, good. Besides, you know about that, which is very specialized, right? You know about electricity and the whole world of creating electricity, which is huge. I'm like, yeah, but that's tiny. So you're in a hard place because there's no knowledge. You go see so-called spiritual teachers, it's like these people are repeating what they read in books. They have very, very little practical experience or inner experiences. So like, who am I to trust? Where do I go? And now the world has become 10,000 times worse. I don't know if, because before, the new age movement with the internet that can sell workshops and self-help stuff, it wasn't like that. So it was much rarer. So now, since the advent of the internet, there's an infinite number of so-called spiritual teachers. It's just endless, right? So it's like even worse, where do you find actual knowledge? Don't confuse that with information is information, but information doesn't have power. People don't know the difference, they get confused. Because you read on the internet 6 foods that help you have testosterone, that doesn't make you have any power. It's not knowledge. This is just data. You don't even know if it's real. You believe in it. That's not knowledge. So the world is flooded and drowned in information, and knowledge is so scarce, ironically. So here you are, as a young man, or at whatever age this dawns on you, you could be at the age of 30, 40, 50, it doesn't really matter, and you're like, I don't know shit. All my life I've been lied to. I've received very little realness, and that's the currency of life. Real is the currency of life. So now when there's an actual problem, we're talking about the problem that we're living now with the COVID war, this is not a new problem. This has been developed for thousands of years. This is the zenith of it. So when you're facing such a magnificent problem, well, if you're not ready, how are you going to go through it? Like I said, some people may have money, so good financially, you're good. Yeah, but this is not a war just on finances. Finance is definitely part of the war. This is a psychological warfare. It's a spiritual war. It's a mental, emotional. It's a war on the human race. That you're fine financially doesn't take into account the rest of your humanity. So again, to answer your question, I feel that I have been trained for the past 20-some years for this moment. Until this moment arrived, although I had a sense of where my life is going, it's kind of was waiting for something. I didn't know what I was waiting for, but I was kind of waiting for something. And when this landed, I'm like, that's why. That's why I had to go through such a training. That's why I went through such hardships. That's why, to forge me and make me into the person that I am today. And I feel, this is for me, between me and me. I'm just sharing with you. I feel at ease and confident what's going on. I have a plan, short-term plan, medium-term plan, long-term plan. And at the same time, I'm capable to flow because this is a living, the zoos or the system's actions are alive. They try something, they adjust. So you can't have just one course of action. You got to be able to flow. This is the key to life, man. You got to be able to flow and constantly adjust. You have to adjust according to your current circumstances. In my case, I'm surrounded with people, so I have to adapt to these circumstances, everybody has to be on the same ship, and the world around us is changing. It's like we're like in a movie, a science fiction movie. This is now closing, something else is opening. You got to be able to flow. You have to have learned detachment, genuine detachment. You have to have made peace with so many of your old relationships that many people carry like old baggages. You can't flow with. You have dead weight on you. You got to be able to make a move instantly, now, and not think about it, and not have a heartache, and not because it slows you down. If you're slow, things are becoming so precise. It's like you have 2 seconds. If in the 2 seconds you haven't passed, it's over for you. The door is closed. Like we need to be so much on the beat. It's not like before the margin of error is finished. There's no margin of error. If you're not on the beat, you're off. If you're off, well, let's see what happens. But you're off. You're not going to get through the door. You can't fabricate the door. You can't invent the door. You can't fabulate it. You can't dream of it. You can't visualize it. No, none of it's. There's a door. There's a passage. And those who understand what I'm saying, understand what I'm saying. So the world is going in a very special place, and how society and humanity is going to reorganize itself, we will see. We can have ideas and a sense of things, and we will see. But I'm not concerned with this right now. I'm only concerned with the path I'm on, and making sure that myself and the people I care for are taken care of and we're good. Along the way, if we can help some people and they're genuine and caring, we'll assist them to the best of our capacity. And that's that.